GemStone IV, the online multiplayer text-based adventure, is celebrating its 35th anniversary, making it one of the longest-running online RPGs of all time. Whether you're a veteran player or haven't logged in since the days of AOL dial-up, now's a great time to revisit Alenthia. In this video, we'll look back at some key moments in Simutronics and Gemstone history, highlight some of the changes the game has undergone to stay relevant in today's digital world across the years from 1987 to 2025, and we'll share some recent data points from the worm himself about our current marketing efforts. One video is not enough to cover everything that happened in 35 years, but I have tried to pack a lot of info into this episode. There will be some chapters if you want to skip ahead to a specific year range, or maybe just jump right to those marketing data points. If you've never played Gemstone before, head on down to play.net/GS4 to sign up for a free account. If you have played before and your account has been inactive for over a year, there's a special return offer available right now. Use the code GSBackHome25 for 90 days of free basic access, followed by 5 months of a basic subscription at 35% off. That's up to 8 months of discounted playtime to ease on back into Alenthia. Before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to the lore timeline that houses official documentation created over the years for Gemstone IV by the Game Masters. There's lore on this page spanning from 1995 to 2025. 35 years ago, Gemstone III was officially launched on Genie, and it would go on to evolve into what is now known as Gemstone IV. Well, what happened to Gemstone I and Gemstone II? David answered this question on the video game show broadcast in December of 2010.
The very first Gemstone was called Gemstone II.
How'd that work?
Gemstone 1 was a prototype.
Ah.
And so when I created, which I created on an Amiga computer back in 1843 or something like that.
David went on to say the game was demoed to Genie as noted in 1987 on Elonka's Simu timeline. It was demoed under Simutronics' pre-incorporation name, Crystal Blade. Simutronics would go on to be officially founded later that year by David Watley with husband and wife Tom and Susan Zielinski. Gemstone II launched on Genie in April of 1988 with Squires Bluff, the original town before the Ice Age, also known as the original location of the abandoned inn. An open beta for Gemstone III would launch in late 1989, introducing Kelfor's Landing, the original name of what is now known as the town of Landing. This brings us back to the official launch of Gemstone III on Genie on February of 1990. That year, the game added several key locations, including the Landing Graveyard, Cavern Hold, the Kobold Village, Dangerland, and Darkstone Castle. Between 1991 and 1994, further expansions introduced the Spider Temple, the Wrecked Village on the Coastal Cliffs, and the Krovan Village on the Lissarian Hills map. In September of 1995, several terms in Gemstone were changed due to licensing agreements with Ice Crown Enterprises, also known as ICE, or the Ice Age or de-icing. The Gemstone Wiki offers a comparison of current terms versus their original names, along with a detailed page about the original Shadow World setting, which has no connection or canon with the current game world. Shortly after these changes, Gemstone would officially launch on AOL. February 1st, 1996, Gemstone's sibling game Dragon Realms launched, a text-based skilling game set in Alenthia, but in a different time era from Gemstone, and it too still exists today. That same year, Gemstone added the Elven Village, along with major towns like Terrace Isle, River's Rest, and Icemule. On December 1st, 1996, AOL switched to flat-rate pricing, which caused a spike in usage and demand for both Gemstone III and Dragon Realms. Gemstone alone logged in 1.4 million hours in a single month, with over 2,000 players online simultaneously. From 1997 to 2005, Gemstone saw its peak usage with the Wizard front-end client, which was well known for playing the iconic Gemstone MIDI music that now triggers nostalgia for many players. In 1997, Simutronics moved all their games to their own domain. Gemstone itself saw major updates, including the completion of the Reaver area on the Old Mine roadmap, Castle Anwan on the Lissarian Hills map, and the Pinefar area northeast of Weissmuhl. In 1998, GemStone expanded with the addition of the Minotaur settlement and major areas like Soulhaven, Vornavus, and the Northern Caravansary, Marshtown, and several ancient ruins. This year also marked the first Ebon Gate Festival, a Halloween-themed paid event that has since run annually each fall. The 2025 festival is already underway this month from October 10th through November 2nd. During Merchant Week, Game Masters will act as live merchants, capable of altering players' items if they have a service pass and are chosen for work. GemStone continues to grow in popularity and celebrated its 10th anniversary in February of 2000. The game was headed for a major expansion. In 2001, a new web client launched, and the world grew with the addition of the dwarven town Zul Logoth and Ta Illistum in the initial release of the Elven Nations. A few months later, Silverain Road and Ta Valor completed the expansion, along with the introduction of Old Typhaendrel, now a popular late-game hunting area. In 2002, GemStone ran the popular Hot Summer Nights event and introduced a host of new features throughout the year. These included unique spellcasting methods for each profession, new profession titles, and expanded hunting areas along the coastal cliffs and near Soulhaven's outlands. The game added a new herb and foraging system, cleric and bard guilds, rogue gambits, and the Skull Temple in the Elven Nations. Several new verbs were introduced, like Society, Warble, Analyze, which gives more info about items, Age for your character, Demeanor, Express, Sprinkle, and Purr, along with some improvements to Tone, Say, and many spells. Other updates included moving a certain society to different towns, the ability to convert to specific deities, Sorcerer Guild improvements, the Warrior's War Salute, changes to the Repel Undead spell, which is now Smite or Bane, and expansions to major towns. The world kept evolving, and in 2003, over the course of 6 months, GemStone IV progressed from alpha to beta, then open beta before its official launch. This rollout included an updated website and a new front-end client called Stormfront, now known as the Windows client Wraith. Around this time, 3 new professions were announced: Paladins, Monks, and Savants. Paladins and Monks made it into the game, bringing the total number of playable professions to 10, while Savants have yet to be introduced. 5 new character races were added: the Alatoi, Burgle Gnome, Erethian, Forest Gnome, and Half Krovan, bringing the total character race options to 13. With GemStone IV came an introduced adjusted level range from 0 to 100, with the ability to keep earning training points even after reaching the max level. This overhaul affected all creature and character levels. Characters who logged in during that time received 2 additional levels after the adjustment, along with a special in-game anniversary enhancement item. 2004 was a big year. The premium area Frost Acres went away and was replaced by the Isle of the Four Winds, with the town Mist Harbor being the new premium hub. Sizagir was released in the Elven Nations as well. Hot Summer Nights returned in 2004 and brought new and updated verbs like Pound, Impose, Belch, Tinker, Imitate, Guild, Fidget, Bow, Disdain for Elves, Roleplay Nominate, Detect, Gaze, and Stretch. Several combat maneuvers were added too, like Twin Hammer Fist, Bear Hug, Precision, Haymaker, Weapon Specialization, Spin Attack, Subdual Strike, G-Kick, Side by Side, Sucker Punch, Multi-Fire, Silent Strike, and Crowd Press. Some guild skills became available through combat maneuver training too, like Berserk, Sweep, Tackle, Subdue, and Disarm Weapon. The Well of Life spell was updated to include deity-specific messaging through the Convert ability, and the 3 raise spells, 312, 318, and 340, were consolidated into the 318 spell slot. A new cleric spell, Fervent Reproach, was also added. Triple X began this year, which would later be overhauled and become the weekly Gift of Luminous for subscribers, allowing faster experience gain. Paladins were introduced in GemStone IV during the really spectacular November event in 2004, making this the first new profession added since the original 8 from GemStone III. GemStone IV would continue on for another solid decade. In 2007, Ravelin Village was added to Ta Valor. That year also marked when Worm joined the staff as game host, later being promoted to Game Master in 2010. In 2012, the Lich landing saga began with the expansion of the underground area beneath the landing, an area that evolved from a temporary hunting ground to a safe travel shortcut before being closed off again in 2017. Coming 8 years after their announcement, 2012 saw the long-awaited arrival of the monk profession, the retirement of Von Fu with the release of the unarmed combat system, and a complete overhaul of the Order of Von. In 2013, microtransactions were introduced to help offset the costs of keeping the game going. In 2014, Spirit Beasts and the Beast Verb were added to the game, completely unrelated to any other pet battle games or intellectual property, of course. 2014 also marked when Worm would begin handling duties as the assistant product manager. In 2015, the free-to-play program was launched, allowing users to experience GemStone in a permanent free trial state with certain gameplay restrictions. These restrictions could be lifted with a base subscription or higher, making it easier than ever for players to jump back into the GemStone world without needing a payment method. That year also saw the release of the Level 0 spell, Arcane Blast, designed for pure casters and costing no mana to use. It comes in both CS and Bolt versions. Updates this year included new death messaging, prep phrases, and improvements to sort and send verbs. Sorcerers gained updates to the sacrifice ability, while new verb updates were added for actions like stride, chortle, laugh, grin, applaud, hoot, measure, beg, bark, lean, whimper, gaze, daydream, snap, evoke, bank, and mana spell up. The say verb expanded with 69 new tones and 33 speech options. Hot Summer Nights and the Elemental Lore Review brought huge overhauls to the Wizard 900 circle, Minor Elemental 400s, and Major Elemental 500s. The Elemental Confluence Hunting Ground was added, along with treasure updates, new combat maneuvers such as Unarmed Specialist and Key Focus, immunity updates, and the introduction of a login reward system. 2015 also marked the launch of Blood Riven Village and Duskrune, the first unattended pay quest, which still runs twice a year, once in February and again in August. It is the most popular event in GemStone to this day. 2016 was a bit of a blur, but a big year for GemStone. A large-scale auction was held, reminiscent of massive events from the 90s, bringing high-end items to the player base on a broader scale. Behind the scenes, Worm was officially named product manager by David Watley, and Simutronics underwent significant internal restructuring. This was also the year Stillfront Group partnered with Simutronics, which currently hold a 55% ownership stake in the company. In regards to Stillfront, they take a mostly hands-off approach, leaving Simutronics with the helm as far as how the games are designed and run. Gameplay saw major improvements. Teleportation between realms became easier, with gold rings now being able to travel farther, including routes from the Rift Sands to the seaport town of Soulhaven. Ta Illistum and Ta Valor also received expanded travel access. Double Guild Rep Wednesdays became a regular feature, and several spells were updated, including Haste, Celerity, Rapid Fire, Empathic Link, and Cold Snap. The game world expanded with new hunting grounds like the Red Forest near the landing and Elven Nations, the Sanctum of Scales, and the Frozen Bramble. This year also marked the debut of the first permanently available dungeon crawl style pay quest, the Settlement of Reem. 2016 was also the inaugural year for Deloria Manor, which made its most recent return in 2023. 2017 introduced fast skill migration for new characters, allowing near-instant and unlimited skill changes from levels 0 to 19. This gave players the freedom to explore different builds before settling into a more permanent playstyle from level 20 onward. Updates were also made to Sonic gear and Paladin spells, and custom bolt messaging was added along with the new Forage Sense ability. Impasse saw major improvements, including increased experience gain, the addition of long-term experience for treating patients, scar transference, and long-distance healing through Solace and Imprinting. Signature verbs were expanded to 50 slots, with additional updates to prep phrases and swear lists. The Nuzzle verb made its debut, alongside to other verbs like email, flick, alter, and Duskrune. This was the final year Summit Academy ran as a standalone event, though the grounds would later be folded into the Rumor Woods Festival starting with its launch in 2019. 2018 brought a range of updates and additions to GemStone IV. Enhancives received updates along with several paladin spell adjustments. The loot and stow verbs were improved, and scrolls began appearing with vibrant ink, granting temporary self-knowledge of spells. More mental spells were released, and lore song unlocks became a new mechanic for bards. On Terrace Isle, the Eye of the Tool expanded with the addition of Machiron's Folly hunting areas, while a separate feature, the Flight of the Griffins, was also introduced. Creature mini-bosses became a new system. Certain enemies can now spawn as more challenging variants of specific traits, offering improved treasure rewards. 2 quests, Night at the Academy and Black Swan Castle, were added to the Quest Nexus system, allowing them to run without Game Master involvement. April marked the first official opening of the Rings of Lunas, alongside the addition of a new stuck verb to help with navigation issues. Collectibles were introduced as a new treasure drop that could be exchanged for unique rewards. Lastly, an in-game memorial was added in honor of Tom. In 2019, 60 more gifted or boss-style creatures were released, continuing the expansion of more challenging enemy types. The Rift Decay timer was reduced from double to normal, and the player shop system received some updates. Several cleric spells were adjusted, including a new function for the Bless spell, which now opens the Landing Graveyard Gate. A number of inventory safety features were introduced this year. The flag command gained options like Safer Drop and No Mark Drop. This allows players to receive a warning before dropping items or to prevent the dropping of marked items entirely. The 925 enchant system was overhauled, and Dispel spells could now be channeled to target only harmful effects. No more having your friend dispel all your defensive spells just because you bound yourself. Fast experience absorption boosts were added too. Verbs like Gaze and Shrug received some updates, and we gained a new way to stop losing valuable gear in combat. Certain lost or disarmed items now enter a recoverable state, retrievable using the Recover verb. You can hire your local Adventurers Guild to do the job for you, though, for a small fee. June of 2019 marked the debut of the Rumor Woods Pay event, which introduced the mount system to the game. 2020 was the year of #PlayApartTogether, and saw the release of the Kraken's Fall Town along with the Open Sea Adventure system. Players can buy boats, sail the seas, engage in scaled combat against pirates, and navigate between the towns. The monk profession gained their player service, Mystic Tattoos, and the Glamour spell was introduced. Combat development included SMRV2 conversions, stun maneuver updates, and new abilities like Shadow Dance and the Ranger tracking skill, which allows players to transport themselves to nearby creatures. An anti-magic playstyle, Croterine Soul, was added, along with skill training adjustments and CML SMR updates. Paladin and Ranger spell circles received some updates too. The Locksmith Pool system was released, which allows players to drop off boxes for others to pick, returning later to collect the contents. Locksmiths can get work now by picking boxes at their local pool to earn silver and experience. Updates were made to lock mastery and lockpick mechanics too. The ESP system was reworked to be global and now no longer requires a crystal amulet. On the hunting side of things, ogres were converted to the basic critter system, and boss creatures now provide some extra long-term experience and better treasure rewards. Ream was updated, and scaling was fixed in the Sanctum of Scales. The Monsoon Jungle was released on Four Winds Isle, and the Den of Rot was added near Icemule. 6 additional hunting grounds were introduced, including Rocky Shoals, the Black Weld, and Hornwort Cavern. New verbs include Lower, Wealth Quiet, and Resource, which shows society favor and profession service energy accumulation. The verbs Empty, Loot, and Stow received some updates, and Troubled Waters was added to the Quest Nexus system. Major festivals this year included Duskroon, Rings of Lunas, Rumor Woods, and Ebon Gate. Some quality-of-life flag features were introduced, like Group Movement, which prevents leaving group members behind, and the Silence Death flag, which prevents others from knowing your character died in battle. Spell privacy features were introduced, along with the new command Spell Active Target, letting players monitor the spells of their friends without having to rely on third-party tools. And finally, Area of Effect spells received a full revamp in December. 2021 was a big year for Gemstone, with daily active users hitting some of the highest numbers since GemStone III during August, September, and October. Several hunting grounds and creatures received mechanical updates, and the Shroud of Deception spell 1212 was released. The Rings of Luminous event took place, and updates were made to the kneel verb, now allowing you to kneel before objects. We also gained the ability to pat those that you're grouped up with. Many areas got improvements to how you can teleport in or out. For example, in the Rift, you now no longer need to solve puzzles to rescue others. The Spirit Guide spell and Symbol of Return will help you make a quick escape. The puzzles are still there if you want to challenge yourself or experience the original ways out. This year, the ocean expanded with 200 new rooms to sail through, and new OSA pre-name titles were released. For the first time ever, the changelog started being officially documented on the wiki. Warriors gained their profession service, waiting, padding, and sighting. Cockatrices joined the BCS, and some magic spells can now be used to control boats. Vuln symbols for sleep and turning were updated to align with the Area of Effect changes from 2020, and this year also marked the final time Ebon Gate would be held at Caligos Isle. The combat verb was introduced, allowing you to view your combat statistics. You can now tuck and untuck items, and a new inventory slot, leggings, was added. Polymorph potions became available in the SimuCoin Store, letting you change your character's gender, name, race, or profession. Combine these with the fixed skill and fixed stat potions, and you can now completely remake a level 70 giant wizard into a level 70 elven sorcerer. The Bless system and Undead in general received huge overhauls this year. Undead no longer require a Bless to take physical damage. Instead, they gain damage reduction effects that can be offset by blessings. Player mail got introduced, so you can now send letters or packages with items to friends. Clerics received their profession service, Sanctify. And finally, 2021 brought PSM with new combat maneuvers, armor and shield specializations, weapon techniques, feats, and the Ascension system, which lets you enhance stats or skills beyond normal training limits. On the business side, 2022 brought more significant restructuring at Simutronics, including many layoffs and company shakeups. One of the founders, David Watley, would leave the company this year. Chris "Skippy" Moore took over as the CEO of Simutronics. At the time of the takeover, he had been with Simutronics for over 20 years and was the COO over the company. Worm remained as the product manager for Gemstone, and Linnea the product manager for Dragon Realms. Under Worm's PM lead, the Gemstone team was organized into 4 main groups: the production team, led by APM Tivy, the development team, led by APM Estield, the player experience team, led by APM Iston, and the events team, led by APM Tandiwa. In 2022, the Stormfront front end was rebranded as Wraith, and the Hinterwilds hunting zone was released, along with a major new town settlement called Cold River. This year also marked the introduction of Divergence, which significantly changed how certain spells operate. While it was a fresh approach, it sparked passionate feedback from players, leading to a rollback of those changes. Old Tafendril received teleportation updates similar to those made in the Rift in 2021. The landing Graveyard Gate became much easier and faster to push open. Empaths gained the ability to earn experience by healing other dead empaths, and they can now cure overexertion with Adrenal Surge, and even transfer the overexertion directly from anti-magic characters. Cold immunity was removed from many undead creatures, and the post office officially opened in the landing. More speech and tone options were added, giving players greater ways to express themselves. In 2023, new minor mental and savant spells were introduced, bringing players one step closer to unlocking savants. Dispel Magic was added as a new feat, and Prance became a new movement verb. Cavern Hold traps were updated so they no longer take items. The Rings of Luminous event returned this year, and the property verb was released. Combat got some new tweaks with added statuses for clumsy, wounded, and major poison. Stealth abilities also saw improvements, especially when moving in groups. The familiar gate spell now works from any plane in the rift to the birthing sands, making travel much easier. A consent verb was added, and if you're jailed in a town, your items are no longer confiscated, and additional tones and speech options were added too. Hot Summer Nights returned in smaller fashion this year for premium subscribers. They now enjoy a reduced bounty cooldown of 10 minutes instead of the default 15. They also gained some new express options. Every month, premium users can ring the bell at Mist Harbor Bank to receive 5 free urchin runners. This year, premium points became usable for profession service points, and urchin guides received further updates. 2 new hunting grounds were released in Zul-Lagoth: the Hive, a post-cap ascension zone, and Storm Peak, a multi-level hunting ground. The long-awaited lore document on Thrakmus was finally published. Lockers received an update to hold more items, and a new Family Vault trunk was added to your locker area that allows you to share items with other characters on the same account. This means you can now easily trade account-bound items like experience orbs or gear. At the end of the year, a massive overhaul hit many disabler spells, reducing their mana and roundtime costs. For example, the Bind spell, which previously cost 14 mana, now only requires 5 mana and takes just 2 seconds to cast. 2024 saw the release of a new raffle system. Sorcerer spells were revamped, and the count verb was released. A new flag, Showroom ID, was made available to see real room IDs, and it's especially useful for those who don't use the Lich program. All characters receive the Resilience ability this year, giving them resistance to critical damage from non-attack strength and defensive strength attacks. This helps reduce one-shot kills caused by bad luck. Buff spells' minimum duration was increased to 2 hours. Training spell ranks continue to increase that duration. Mana costs have been adjusted to be more static, and all characters gain 1 use of mana spell up per day to spell themselves up. More spell disabler enhancements were released, with adjustments to minor spiritual, minor and major elemental, ranger spells, pious trial for paladins, and corrupt essence for sorcerers. Some Happy Trails updates happened that made traveling to and from the Elven nations faster. The boulders on both sides of the mountain no longer require climbing checks and allow dragging of others. There's no longer a chance of injuring yourself when climbing. That skill check has been removed. The rope ladder between Glowantern Moor and the Dead Plateau was updated to allow multiple climbers at the same time. Injuries will not prevent climb attempts, and fatigue no longer occurs climbing upward or downward. This means your character won't fall off and die a horrible, painful, gruesome death, at least on the ladder. In unrelated news, the Glacian Star now allows passengers of level 3 and above to Terrasile, retiring the previous level 20 requirement. The hidden Lornan town of Sablecross was released. 35 gasp verbs were added, and more imitate options were created. The trash verb was released, letting you discard unwanted items more easily or help you locate a nearby refuse bin. Some combat maneuvers like knee bash, sweep, tackle, and trip were updated to work against targets immune to knockdown. The City of Glaive on the Isle of Glaoveln was released. The health verb now shows enhancive information and recovery. Profession guildmasters no longer have to check in or pay dues. The inventory enhancive verb was updated to show all sorts of additional details. Flourishes were released, allowing you to customize mundane items with fluff or mechanical enhancements. Paladins gained their profession service Battle Standard. Rogues gained the profession service Covert Arts, and Bards received the new profession service Bardic Luck. It was also announced that the Platinum server would have its support ended in 2025, offering Platinum characters the option to migrate to the Prime server with basic and premium subscription holders. Exclusive Platinum-only content will be added to the main game moving forward, and some Platinum-only events or merchants will be active over time. 2025 saw the start of the Wisdom of the Ages continuous subscription perk. This grants increased experience total and absorption the longer you maintain a subscription. To keep the bonus active, you have to log in to every character on an account each month. Sorcerer spells were overhauled, including spells 701, 706, 710, 716, and 718. Ascension Gemstones went live, a new system that lets you gain unique abilities and expand your builds through powerful discovered artifacts. Poisoncraft was released for rogues, and quality of life improvements were made to noisy areas, such as Adventure Guild task rooms. A new key and lock system was added, expanding treasure possibilities. 19 new seas opened as an expansion to the Open Sea Adventure system. The Empath Profession Service Bloodstone Jewelry was released. Flags were introduced to prevent accidental casting of war spells in town. Paladins were overhauled again this year, gaining new feats like Chastise and Excoriate, as well as new boons such as Devout Guardian, Glorious Momentum, Ardor of the Scourge, and Righteous Rebuke. They gain block specialization, along with new abilities like Sunder Shield, Shield Trample, Shield Throw, and the ability to train shield skills 3 times per level. Several Paladin spells received improvements too. Happy Trails received another update with the retiring of the ferryman that collects 10 silver on the Locksmere Trail. Instead, a bridge was built that you can easily cross without waiting for a boat. The Isle of Ornath and Sleeping Drake Harbor were released, allowing permanent access to the Rings of Luminous event. There have been several bug fixes and QOL improvements in the last 2 years to various systems and items. When a cleric or paladin raises you now, you'll receive long-term experience, a restoration of your spells, and a small experience modifier automatically to help you get back into the action. Clerics and paladins now receive double the experience for resurrecting someone. The fame system has been fixed so characters can now have more than 2.1 billion fame. You can include or exclude yourself from fame lists with the flag setting. No more needing to check in at the local inn to reflect those new totals. A new quest system has been launched, offering rewards for completing quests of various lengths and difficulties. There are several new quests at this year's Ebon Gate. Boost Bounty now lets you pick a specific Adventurers Guild task. This is a huge update, allowing you to target titles or various rewards for completing a certain number of a specific task. The last update on this list, but certainly not the last of the year, a new hunting area and sailing attraction, Sailor's Grief, was released. This year, Simutronics released a press statement celebrating 35 years of GemStone IV and was featured in a PC Gamer article. Marketing efforts like these, along with player-made content, aim to spread the word that Gemstone is still alive and well and could use more adventurers to help carry it forward for another 35 years. Subscriptions and participation in pay events really help keep GemStone IV going and are key to ensuring it continues for years to come. The majority of gameplay now takes place on a single server, the Prime server. You may be wondering how the pricing structure works nowadays. A free account allows you to play one character, but comes with several game restrictions which are more detailed on the wiki. 2 of the most limiting are slower experience gain after level 10 and a 100 item inventory cap. It's intended to be a free trial with no time limit, and there are some microtransaction options in the SimuCoin Store that can help ease these restrictions, but they pale in comparison to the benefits of upgrading to a subscription. Once you upgrade, you can't revert the account back to free, but you can pause your subscription if you ever need to take a break or just create a new free-to-play account. Some players maintain both paid and free accounts depending on their needs. A basic subscription costs $14.99 per month and allows you to play one character. Additional character slots can be added for $2.50 per month each. A subscription will lift all free-to-play restrictions on the account and qualify you for features like the Wisdom of the Ages and various claim options offered throughout the year. You'll receive 150 free SimuCoins each month through the SimuCoin Store by clicking the Claim button. The premium subscription costs $39.95 per month and grants access to 16 character slots on the Prime server. You'll receive additional Wisdom of the Ages benefits, access to the premium transport system, premium points to spend on long-term perks, extra merchant services, and entry to a premium-only town that can be accessed from other major towns and settlements in the game, along with some other exclusive features. You'll receive 525 free SimuCoins each month through the SimuCoin Store by clicking the Claim button. The Platinum subscription costs $49.95 per month, which is $10 more than Premium and includes all of the Premium features. As of this video, a separate Platinum server is still accessible with this subscription, but support for that server is ending. Many former Platinum players have already migrated their characters over to the Prime server, consolidating the player base. As for additional benefits tied to the higher subscription costs, Platinum subscribers will enjoy double Premium points at 200 points per billing cycle, extra worn inventory slots, including +1 functional and +2 total to the wrist, finger, neck, ear, and ears slots. Platinum subscribers receive 725 free SimuCoins each month through the SimuCoin Store by clicking the claim button. These perks are all live right now. Future planned Platinum perks include a way to check for names that qualify to be purged and reused, cheaper costs for transport tickets between towns, exclusive merchants, and Platinum-only areas within the Prime server. There's one more subscription, and that's Shattered. The Shattered subscription is actually a $5 add-on that can be added to a basic subscription or higher, granting access to the Shattered server, a separate game instance from Prime. In Shattered, there is no in-character requirement, so AFK scripting and PvP are completely allowed. There is minimal to no Game Master support. As a reminder for those who previously had active accounts and have been away for over a year, use the code GSBackHome25 to receive 90 days of GemStone Basic for free, followed by 5 months at 35% off the basic subscription. This offer will not be around forever. Aren't you curious what items you left in that locker 20 years ago? Now it's time to share some data points from the worm himself regarding current marketing efforts. Subscriptions are up overall this year, with a 6% increase in active accounts so far. Duskroon, which has been running since 2015, marked its 10th anniversary in 2025. The August 2025 Duskroon ranked as the 4th highest in participation of all time. Vault purchases have also seen a significant increase, up 50% this year. Perhaps the most interesting data point is the number of truly new users. These are people who've joined us as a direct result of the press release or the PC Gamer article. As of the end of August, we have welcomed 205 new players. Some final thoughts. GemStone IV still exists today, though it has changed dramatically from its early days. The game is now maintained by a dedicated team of over 40 staff members who continue to put in an incredible amount of time and effort, constantly rolling out new content. GemStone runs through a proprietary interactive fiction engine (IFE) that allows for live updates and real-time world changes. That flexibility is one of the game's biggest strengths, but it also means you might occasionally run into a bug, especially right after new features or systems get released. Fortunately, tools like Bug Item, and Assist let you easily report issues or get support directly from staff. If you're ever curious about ongoing updates or the game fixes, the Development Announcements thread on Discord is a great place to stay informed. As of 2025, GemStone IV remains a profitable business, but keeping it running isn't without its costs. While it is a text-based game, it still has data hosting costs, an active development team, and returns for the studio and its investors. Pay events and microtransactions are now a regular part of the experience, but honestly, that's pretty standard for online games today. Even so, there's plenty of great content available with just a basic subscription or even a free-to-play account. Over the past 35 years, the player base has grown older. Thousands of paid accounts are still active each month, but not everyone logs in daily like they once did. Let's face it, life gets busy, not everyone has the same free time that they used to. The nostalgic experience you remember from years ago might not be the same one you get now, but that doesn't mean the game can't still be a fun experience. Whether you're leveling up your character or trying to engage in roleplay, there's still magic to be found. Not everyone will respond, and that's okay. It's a living fantasy world, and what keeps it going is us. The more we as players participate, the more vibrant Alenthea can become. So I encourage you, talk to other characters, hunt with new players, or even host your own events. Be part of what makes GemStone special, the community and the moments we create together. That, in the end, is the best experience gain of all. Thank you to the founders, David, Tom, and Susan, for creating and launching this online fantasy world. A huge thank you to all of the Gemstone staff and players, past and present, for pouring your hearts into this world and keeping it alive for all these years. I'm looking forward to another 35 years in Alenthea. Cheers to Gemstone 4, and here's to many more years to come. Come join us at the 2025 Ebon Gate event, Weavers of Arachne, running from October 10th to November 2nd, and check out more of my Gemstone 4 guide videos right here on the JaraVerse channel.